Musician friends sometimes ask me what composers do in their private lessons. I usually say, well, I bring in my score, my teacher looks at it, makes some suggestions. Somehow I think this answer never seems to satisfy people's expectations. Maybe they imagine there to be some secret knowledge imparted from teacher to student every week, and that after a certain amount of study you are officially granted the rank of composer. But the truth is, anyone can be a composer, and you don't even need to ever take a lesson to do it. All you need to do to be a composer is to create a new musical idea that no one has heard before. In a sense, you don't even need to know how to read music. So why don't more people do it? And why do some people spend 4 or 6 or 10 years or more studying composition? In the same way that you can't learn to swim without jumping in the water and trying to swim, you can't learn to compose without composing a great deal. You hope that you will improve over time as you learn from your mistakes and build upon your successes. But at some level, that's really the only way to study composition. What composition students are often really doing when they say they are studying composition is that they are composing. There is one other thing you can do, though, to become a better composer, and essentially this is what you do when you enroll in a degree program or study privately with a teacher. Besides learning from your own mistakes, what you can do is learn from other people's mistakes. A good teacher will be able to relate what you're doing in a particular piece with something they have tried before, or have seen or heard before in another piece, and make recommendations based on that. By simply saying, "This is too high for the clarinet," a teacher can save a tremendous amount of heartache and frustration for the composer later on down the road, and for that poor clarinetist. Similarly, by studying music history or learning to play an instrument, you can learn from 1,000 years of experimentation, trial, and error, and in just one lifetime, be able to glean some valuable insights that took centuries for others to discover. A famous writer who also happened to be a prominent literary critic was once asked how his own work as a writer was influenced by all that he had read over the course of his career. He responded by saying, "Well, it's true that I've read a bit, but when I sit down to write, I have to forget all that." No matter how much you learn from others, there's no substitute for trial and error. If you've always wondered what you would need to do to become a composer, my best advice is compose. And if you ever want to get some feedback, visit the contact page on my website. I'm always happy to take a look at what you've done and tell you what I think.